You already knew it was coming, because the Vancouver Canucks have made multiple signings today that we have to dive into. Two minor signings, admittedly. These are not big-name free agents like Nikolai Ehlers or John Tavares heading over to Vancouver, but they are names that we should talk about and that do hold a place in the organization. GM Patrik Allvin announced today that the Canucks have agreed to terms with defenseman Jett on a 1-year, 2-way contract. Subsequently, the team also agreed to terms with goaltender Nikita Tolapilo on a 2-year, 2-way contract. So Wu is on for 1 year, Tolapilo is on for 2 years. There are two separate articles that were posted onto the Vancouver Canucks website. We can dive into both of these over here. I guess we can start with Tolapilo, since this article technically was posted first. I mean, they were both posted at 9:10 a.m. in the morning, but Tolapilo's, of course, it came first on Twitter, so we can dive into that here. Vancouver Canucks GM Patrik Allvin announced today that the club has agreed to terms with goaltender Nikita Tolapilo on a 2-year, 2-way contract. Nikita had a good year of development in Abbotsford, said Patrik Allvin. He worked hard in his game, and he took a step forward in becoming a better pro. We will continue to work with him to provide the best path forward for both the player and our organization. Now, we can skip past all of this, because this is available on Elite Prospects. Tolapilo was originally signed by the Canucks as an undrafted free agent on March 31st, 2023. So it's been 2 years of Tolapilo in the Vancouver Canucks organization, and now he is on the books for the next 2. Tolapilo is a player who was labeled by Patrik Allvin during the season-ending press conference as a big piece in Abbotsford. It was Tolapilo, it was Ty Young. Vancouver's plan seems to be having these two guys as the 1-2 in Abbey for next season. Of course, we know that Kevin Lankinen re-signed earlier this year. We know that Thatcher Demko re-signed just a few days ago, which means that Artur Shilov's spot in the Canucks organization is all but guaranteed to be moved. You'll have Demko, Lankinen up in the Vancouver system, and then Tolapilo and Young down there in the AHL system. Add to this Medvedev, who was drafted by Vancouver as a very solid goaltending prospect in the 2025 NHL Draft, and there just simply isn't enough room for Shilovs. Unless, of course, the Vancouver Canucks decided to go with a triple goalie rotation, which, I mean, they don't really have any reason to do that. You don't really want Lankinen, Demko, or Shilovs rotating around in a triple goalie rotation. They are all kind of better than that, I would say. Also, Artur Shilovs deserves a chance to be a full-time backup. He has done a lot for the Vancouver Canucks organization. This, you can say, all but signals an inevitable trade for Artur Shilovs. But Nikita Tolapilo is in a spot where he was signed out of nowhere by the Vancouver Canucks. He was born in 2000, so he actually is my age. 6'6", 229, left-handed catching goaltender. Yes, he is 25 years old. Yes, he is technically older than Artur Shilovs. So it's not like Nikita Tolapilo has the most amazing potential long-term. Although, you have to remember, this guy did play 2 NHL games, and he did have a win in that sample this previous year. 8.85 save percentage and a 2.15 goals against in 2 games. The goals against is really good. Save percentage maybe not so much, but still he has a win, and that's really all you could ask for a guy who was brought in to play just some games towards the end of the season. 9.02 save percentage with Abbotsford this previous year, and a 9.13 in the one game that he had with the Abbey Canucks playoffs. So Nikita Tolapilo is in a pretty good spot. He is a real pro, and of course, Patrik Allvin is praising his overall work ethic as well as his progression. Speaking about guys who were born in the year 2000, let's also talk about Jett, who was given a contract 1 year, 2-way, so he'll be making a different amount of money if he is in the NHL versus the AHL, although I think a lot of Canucks fans are probably penciling him in as an AHL guy. Vancouver Canucks GM Patrik Allvin announced the club has agreed to terms with D-man Jett on a 1-year, 2-way contract. Jett was a key member of our playoff run in Abbotsford. Logging those minutes in the playoffs should help him become a better player and leader moving forward. It's an experience he can build on this fall to start next season. Now, as we had said, Jett Woo was also a 2000-born Vancouver Canucks player. I mean, he was born on July 27th, 2000, 24 years old, from Winnipeg, Manitoba, decently sized at 6 feet 205, but he was very much touted as the best hitter of the 2018 NHL Entry Draft. He was ranked to go a lot higher than 37th overall, where the Vancouver Canucks snagged him up in the second round. I mean, scroll down over here, some folks had him as a top round pick, like future considerations. There were even other outlets that I remember talking about Woo as a potential top 20 guy, because he was so physical and he could also produce points. In the Moose Jaw Warriors system, he then exploded offensively the year after with a really good power play that included the likes of Josh Brook, Tristan Langen, Justin Almeida, and then there was one more. Who was the last guy on that power play for the Warriors? Yeah, so Brook, Tracy, that's who it is. Braden Tracy. There you go. Big throwback blast to the past over there. But Jett Woo has never been able to crack the Vancouver Canucks roster, despite the fact that he has brought the boom. He has been a physical defenseman in the AHL for the past few years. He has started to produce a little bit more at the AHL level too. 31 points in 62 games in 23-24, 21 points in the year before that. This previous season, he only had 18 points, so it did kind of dip a little bit, that production, but he still was a very important and useful player as the Abby Canucks went on to win the Calder Cup championship. I don't think anybody's really projecting Jett Woo as an NHL caliber guy anymore, but he is still a good pro to have around in the organization. And with the Canucks D-core already being established with the guys that we have, I mean, you're talking about Quinn Hughes, Phil Hronik, Tyler Myers, Marcus Pettersson. That's your top four guaranteed. And then there's a bunch of other dudes that are already in the organization fighting for the final few spots. You have Victor Mancini. You have Tom Villander. You have Derek Forbort. You have Elias Pettersson. There are a number of guys that are already ahead of guys like Jett Woo on the depth chart. Kirill Kudryavtsev, you could debate, is even in that mix as well. So if the Vancouver Canucks wanted to make a big splash, they wanted to add somebody of value on their D-core, they would have to move out some pieces. So Jett Woo, very nice backup name as a potential call-up option. Of course, if he does be a part of the Vancouver Canucks system for a day or two, he will get some extra money because he's on that two-way contract. That's pretty good for him. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about both of these contract signings. Patrik Allvin's making some moves today, baby. It is Nikita Tolapilo signed to a 2-year two-way contract. It is Jett Woo signed to a 1-year two-way contract. Both of these guys are coming back to Van. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this British Ashroll sign on. And bye.